Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Tuesday after Monday Night Raw review. I am AD, and I thank you for joining me here today. If you want a quick summary, you could have missed this entire show except for the main event. That's all. Thank you very much for listening. Go ahead, like and subscribe. Appreciate you. If you want a more little bit details of the summation, please stay along. Maybe we'll learn something. This is the review for Raw, week number 3, May 5th, 2025, in Omaha, Nebraska. Like I said at the top, and I buried the lead, nothing in this whole program made me feel anything until the main event, which, the main event should always be the good ending to the entire show. It should be better than everything else that's come before it. The problem is, everything that's come before it hasn't been good. And I'm getting really sick and tired of all of these crowds saying this is awesome. They do a few little moves, and then this is awesome. The only thing that was actually really awesome was the main event. I think they actually pulled off a pretty decent match, actually. But we'll start. At the top, we're doing, again, another recap. We have to always recap what happened last week, because it doesn't matter that you watched it last week. What is the point of watching the entire show if at the main event they're going to give you little headlines at the bottom telling you who won who? And what matches that they have, and what matches are coming next week and the week after, and reminding us about John Cena and Randy Orton's rivalry. There's no point in watching anything last week if I could just get a recap next week. And if you're telling me everything that happened at the main event, what's the point of watching anything else in the show? So we have a recap again. And again, and we have promos for Backlash. And then we have Uso to start. Great. Good to see him come out there. But I gotta say, I'm getting seriously annoyed with the yeet. Maybe because when I was catching up with WWE last year, I was watching, old stuff, and I was catching up. So I was able to fast forward and skip as much as I needed to and go back. So it wasn't as problematic. But now watching it live, that yeet shit is annoying. Shut up. Let him talk. How you waste 5 minutes of my time just eating, and then we're doing it again. Stop it. It's stupid. I understand it. It's over, but it doesn't need to go that long, because then it just gets annoying. So good for him for coming out. He's doing all that, and then Paul Heyman comes out. Paul Heyman, say what you want to say about him. The guy knows how to be a heel. He worked amazingly, although he has to control himself because that whole losing oxygen stuff, you can hear his breathing, and it's like, bro, you're old enough to know how to speak without having to lose your breath like that. I'm sure you have worked in this business long enough to know that you don't need to yell to get your promos across or show how disgruntled that you are, okay? And also, I absolutely agree with Paul. Roman Reigns is the fuck up here. Roman Reigns should have had no issue with Paul Heyman going with CM Punk in his corner. Roman Reigns should have had no issue. Like Paul Heyman said, dude, me and CM Punk we're running these streets well before Roman even decided to get into wrestling. And I made a promise to CM Punk, and I'm going to help out my friend. He put me in a terrible position. And the only reason it was a terrible position was because Roman is a selfish prick. That's it. I said this before in my WrestleMania review, way back when. Roman should have no issues with Paul Heyman. In fact, he should be appreciative that Paul Heyman shows loyalty. What the fuck you mean you're going to have a problem? Paul Heyman had a life before he came to you, okay? He was running these streets. He was in this business decades before you even decided to get into this business. Okay? And he made a promise, and he's going to keep it. You should be appreciative that you have people around you who keep their promises. What is wrong with you? So I was with Paul Heyman the whole time. Roman Reigns is stupid and a selfish prick for getting mad that Paul Heyman was going to keep his promise. And that was it. It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to sabotage you for CM Punk to win the belt. No, it was just, I'm going to go with my boy CM Punk, who always wanted to go to WrestleMania, and now he finally is going to get there. That's it. That's all it was. That's all it was, and Roman Reigns couldn't stop being a selfish prick. So, fuck him, and I agree with Paul Heyman. Of course, even though that was all, good points and shit. It was all a work. It was all a work to get Uso to agree to a championship title belt match against Seth Rollins. Here's the thing that I understand, and they did the same thing with Becky and Val later on. If last week we saw Paul Heyman offer Sami Zayn, a fucking undisputed title belt shot against Cena or Orton. Why the fuck is Seth Rollins worried about this championship belt if he could go for the for the undisputed belt? Is the undisputed belt not better than the world belt? Is the belt that John Cena has not better than the belt that Jey Uso has? Because I think it was. If that's the case, why the fuck would Seth Rollins give a shit about the world champion? Go for the undisputed. Especially because Paul Heyman was able to offer it to Sami Zayn. He can't work it for Seth Rollins? That's stupid. Somebody's got to explain it to me, because I thought the undisputed belt was the better one, was the top one. Is it not? Is it not? So then why the fuck would I care about you going for a belt lower than that? But it was what it was. I just thought that was really messed it up for me. Okay, just because it's like, why are you going for a weaker belt? You want to go for an undisputed belt. In fact, that's what you offered to Sami Zayn. So why the fuck are you going for It's stupid. It's stupid. I don't know why that belt will be there, but whatever. That was the whole segment. It just started with that. It just turned into a match for Seth versus Uso. Uso got, agitated and all that, and it was going to be his first defense. So, okay, sure. Go ahead. Whatever. Then, right afterwards, we have a recap for Penta. I don't care for Penta. I didn't realize how much I don't care for Penta until he came out last week and interfered in the match of Finn Balor and JD McDonough. I realized I don't care for Penta. That's when I realized it. I realized it last week, and now I don't care for him again. So they did a recap. Again, what's the point of watching anything if they're just going to recap us everything? And he was going to go against JD McDonough. And, okay. And again, all these commercials, because I missed 3 minutes of this match. I missed a good maybe 30 minutes across this entire show because they kept giving me ads in the middle of matches. And we'll get to that when we get to Rusev. But this match, Penta wins. That's as much as I care to remember, because even though I wrote stuff down, who fucking cares? Judgment Day comes out. Penta and Judgment Day apparently have a feud going on. Again, they keep teasing this descent with Finn, being ordered around by Dom Mysterio. Dom being a heel, complaining about all the work he has to do, even though he only fought once since WrestleMania. That's it. And now AJ Styles is coming for the belt. Okay, great, AJ. You lost clean to Logan Paul. You were called out by... someone called you out for not going, not being tougher or whatever. And now you're going for an Intercontinental belt, which you flubbed your lines. Come on, AJ. But fine. You're going for an Intercontinental belt. Dom doesn't like being champion and having to defend. Hopefully, maybe he'll lose it to AJ, because AJ should absolutely hold the belt. Any belt. I mean, again, the belt doesn't make the character. The character makes the belt. The Intercontinental belt on Dom doesn't do anything for him, because Dom is not anything for anybody. Like, he's not even that good of a wrestler. So, fuck him. Give it to AJ. AJ, of course, is phenomenal. He has an amazing storied career. So, they had the little backstage to make sure, Dom, that Finn is going to help out Dom, and he's going to take on AJ Styles because he doesn't want to fight AJ Styles. AJ Styles should absolutely beat Finn, okay? And then Dom should get mad at Finn for not taking care of AJ Styles, and this, again, continues to create dissension in the ranks between Finn and the Judgment Day. I want Finn out of the Judgment Day. It's obvious they're phasing him out. It's obvious he doesn't want to be there. It's obvious that he's just there for mockery. So just get out. Go to your demon. Okay, go back to your demon phase. Okay, be like, you guys, after everything I've done for you guys, and you guys treat me like this, I'm gonna go back, and I'm gonna get my revenge. And boom, you get your demon set gone. You become the demon again, and you take out the Judgment Day. That's it. I mean, obviously, that's what we're building to, a breakup between Finn and Judgment Day. It's just a question of what does Finn go to after he breaks up. So I hope he goes back to his demon shtick. The match, yeah, Penta wins. Their Carlito interferes, Finn interferes for JD McDonough, but Penta overcomes it and wins. Yeah, whatever. Next up, we have Austin Theory versus Sheamus. Two wrestlers I haven't seen in a long while. I don't know why they were neither at WrestleMania, but now I'm supposed to care. But at least Sheamus is still over. It's obvious he's still over. It's obvious that people want to see him wrestle. I lost another 3 minutes of commercials. I got another 3 minutes of commercials during this match because last thing I remember, they show Sheamus hugging another ginger in the crowd. It cuts, I get 3 minutes later, and they're back in the ring. So I don't know what happened between that. So thank you. I appreciate missing out what's going on in the matches. It's obvious Sheamus was going to win. They set up the whole thing with Waller being scared and then giving it over to Austin, and then Austin being unsure. He put up a good fight, but Sheamus was going to go over. Good for him. He got his moves down. People liked it. People like Sheamus. Use Sheamus more, okay? I don't know if this finally creates, a rival feud between Austin and Waller, but we'll see. We'll see because Austin hasn't been used in a while, so fuck him, right? If he hasn't been used, what does it matter? Okay, and I just gotta say, people like this match way better than the first one. And I don't know if that's the way things are supposed to go, but your opener should get the crowd pumped up. Nobody gave a shit about the first match, but when Sheamus came out, it came alive. People liked the second match better. And of course, this just continues the tension between Finn and Judgment Day. After the match, we have. Oh, okay, yeah. This was the Judgment Day segment. AJ Styles and Finn. He's being fed AJ Styles. Okay, whatever. After that, we have the Becky segment. Becky Lynch comes out to booze, and it's almost like she's trying to do a John Cena. That she's not wrong. She's not, and also like a Paul Heyman actually, where she was just complaining and yelling at everybody that she's not the wrong one. She was taking out the garbage and the recycling, and she did everything right, and she's the best one. So why are you booing me? Heel work, obviously, but it's like we just heard this from Paul Heyman, and then we heard this 2 times after WrestleMania from John Cena. So it's like, okay, now it's Becky's turn to say the same thing about you guys all suck. She's the best. She left, but she's still better than everybody here. I'm gonna show it to you and prove it to you. Valeria comes out. Wait, excuse me, that's not her name. Val comes out. I'll just say that. Lyra Valkyrie, that's her name. She comes out. They get into it again like they did last week. I'm better than you. No, you're not. I made you. No, you didn't. Okay. Again, we heard this stuff from Paul Heyman. Like, we literally heard this stuff from Paul Heyman. At least she called out Bayley. Bayley needs to get some work. I'm sure people like Bayley as well. They want to see her. I'm sure there's a contingent that is upset that Bayley got, knocked out to not go to WrestleMania. So, good for Becky to at least remind us that Bayley is still there. She hasn't been released. So hopefully we'll see something, maybe a triple threat. Val, Becky and Bayley, or maybe Becky and Bayley to fight each other. It would have been good if we haven't already seen it from Paul Heyman. And also, again, it just feels, and the same thing I said last week when Becky came out, it just feels like she's trying too hard. You know what I'm saying? At least Paul Heyman, there's like a natural flow to him. But with Becky Lynch, it's like, I don't know, like she's trying too hard to get the audience mad and agitated at her. It's weird. Like, I was just like, shut up. Paul Heyman, yeah, I wanted him to shut up too, but at least he made good points and at least it flowed nicely. But with Becky, whatever. But it's good that they got, some beef going. We're going this into Backlash, obviously. And here's another thing that I said about the titles. Becky Lynch, first woman to headline WrestleMania, with the main event, great. She was the first woman, whatever, great. Why the fuck do you care about the Intercontinental Championship? You were the fucking champion. Go for the championship. Why the fuck do you care about the Intercontinental? You were the champion. Go for that. Go against Tiffany Stratton. Don't go against Lyra. Why? Again, I don't understand the hierarchy of these belts, but I would imagine that the Tiffany Stratton, the champion of the the women's world heavyweight champion, is higher than the Intercontinental Championship. So what the fuck are you telling me that you used to be at the top of having the championship belt? Now I'm going to work for my Intercontinental belt. Why? Just go for the fucking highest belt you can. Pick a fight with Tiffany Stratton. Don't pick a fight with your friend for the fucking belt that you already surpassed by being champion before. What are you doing? This is what I don't understand. Somebody got to explain to me the hierarchy of this shit, because it doesn't make sense. If I'm a wrestler, I'm going to go for the best belt that there is. I'm going to use the Intercontinental Championship as a stepping stone to the top belt. But if I already had won the belt, if I was already a defending champion and I lost it however many times, I'm going to keep going for the championship belt. Why would I go for the Intercontinental? Why would I go for second place if I've already been won? I don't understand that. So it's still, yeah, so it's just still stupid. So I just find that stupid. Like, I don't understand why you would want that. The same thing with Seth Rollins. It's stupid. Why not go against Cena or Orton after who wins? You offered it to Sami Zayn. You don't want it for yourself? What is this? So they get into a brawl just like last week. They fight each other. They get into a brawl. They pull off some moves. This is just a little feud build up for their fight. Okay, great. Next up, we have Roxanne versus Io. Okay, another question. What happened to number one contenders match? Why the fuck is Roxanne? Is it Roxanne? Why the fuck is it Is it Roxanne? Why the fuck is Roxanne going against the champion for a shot at the champion? That doesn't make sense. What are you talking about? It was obvious from the get-go that Roxanne could not win. Because if Roxanne could win against Io in a non-title match, what's stopping her from winning in a title match? Why the fuck is a champion why isn't she defending her belt? Why? Why are you wrestling if you're not for the belt? Why the fuck would I want to face the champion if it's not for the belt? That's why you have a number one contender match. If Roxanne wanted to get a shot at the belt, she should have fought someone else, not the fucking champion herself. And it was obvious from the get-go that Io had to win. She had to. Because what the fuck you mean, go ahead and beat me for a non-title match? What are you talking about? At least even Zelina Vega had a championship belt with Piper. But now thinking about it, on SmackDown, I don't think Zelina Vega I think that was another match that was for a non-belt match. Yeah, you know what? Thinking about it, yeah, because Nick Aldis, he tells Chelsea that you can't get a rematch because it's Piper versus Zelina, and so you might have to face Piper. Okay, I guess I got to rewatch it, because if you're telling me that Zelina Vega had another match with Piper to find out if Piper can go for the belt is stupid. Do we not have a number one contender match? Is that not the point of it? Why the fuck? I would never want to face the champion if it wasn't for the belt. Why? Why the fuck would I ever want to face? Okay, imagine you go against Cena. Why would you want to go against Cena for a non-title match? Fuck it, because if you lose, you're not winning him in a title match. And if you win, you should have bet the title. That's the whole point. I'm not going to fight the champion for a non-title match. That's stupid. I can't believe they did it twice. Because now I'm thinking Zelina Vega had to go against Piper Nevins to give Piper Nevins a shot at the belt. If Piper Nevins won Zelina, what the fuck? Why would I care that Piper is going to fight Zelina again for the belt when she beat Zelina already without the belt? The fuck? That's the same shit here. Why the fuck is Roxanne fighting Io for a non-belt? Io, stay away. You're the champion. You take on who's ever the number one contender. You don't... Oh, wow. This is worse than I thought. Wow. Retrospective is a hell of a thing. Also, the crowd is dead at this match. Sorry for that little tangent, but yeah, the crowd was dead for this match. Roxanne could obviously not win. And also, of course, they're setting up this whole stupid thing with Io and Rhea. Even though they mentioned a few times that Rhea was not going to be there. But now next week is going to be Rhea and Io versus Roxanne and whoever else the other girl is. Who cares? Why the fuck is Rhea and Io going to be in the match? Io came out to help. Rhea came out to help Io when Io got ambushed. Io came out to help Rhea when Rhea got ambushed. They're even. No, now we're gonna be in a tag match. Go fuck yourself. How about that? Get these people away from each other. Why? What the fuck are we doing? And of course, they let us know next week we have Rhea versus Io versus Roxanne and whoever the other girl is. Okay, great. Io and Rhea have to win. Not only are they both bigger physically and, not metaphorically, but in the meta of the WWE universe, Rio and Io are bigger than Roxanne and whoever the hell the other lady is. So they have to win. This can't be an upset. They should absolutely dismantle them. It's so stupid that they're in this tag together. They're not a tag team. They're two singles. They're two single wrestlers put together in a match. And when you do that, it means you guys have no sense of what to do with them. You want to keep them in the contention for the title belt, then give them a fucking title belt. Don't make them tag up with two fucking randos who nobody likes. The crowd was dead. They didn't give a shit. Sure, they gave a shit for Io. Yeah, she's champion and she's, charismatic and stuff like that. But you're only as good as the people you fight, bro. That's why people like Batman. As much as they love Batman, they like the villains that Batman faces. Okay, that's the whole thing. Your enemies give a more definite characterization of who you are as opposed to your friends. Okay, you need a great enemy for a great hero. Otherwise, what the fuck do you have? Nothing. Very much like this match. Feud continues. Roxanne pulled off a little, little fake swerve, thinks she's going to give Io respect, doesn't, and then they get beat up, and of course Rhea isn't there, so Io just got manhandled. And the next week we have a tag match with Io and Rhea. Okay, wonderful. What the fuck was this? So the feud continues with Roxanne. Io is, of course, got beat up, and she needs Rhea to help her out. Great. That's what I like about my champion. They need someone else to help them win a match. I love it. Next match, we have Rusev versus Otis. Okay. I don't give a shit about this match. Rusev came out, 2 weeks ago? Cleared house against that tag team match or something. And then he came out now, and it's against Otis. Who gives a shit? And again, this was another match that had 3-minute ads into it, so I missed 3 minutes of whatever the fuck they were doing, but then again, it probably didn't matter much. I don't give a shit about Rusev. I don't give a shit about Otis. I mean, I guess it's something for Alpha Academy to do, It's something for them to kind of build towards, Obviously, they haven't gotten released, so it's like, okay, let's do something with them. We'll see, I don't know, because it's already like a nothing match. I don't care. So putting Rusev in anything, it's going to be like, for what? And on top of that, at least last time I remember Rusev, he had more charisma. He was more on the mic. Now this guy is just he's the stoic guy who's just going to beat everybody up. Shut up. We've had enough of that. We have enough of that type of character. What we need is actual character, actual charisma on the mic. Get me to like you. Oh, I'm the big brolic motherfucker who's gonna beat everybody up. Okay. How many times have we seen that? Even in the recent years, because he's been gone 5 years, Dike. Motherfucker's been gone for 5 years, and now he's just gonna beat up Alpha Academy? Go for the fucking belt. What are you doing back? You came back to fight jobbers. The fuck? Then again, I mean, he is his own jobber, I guess. So, whatever. And Rusev wins by submission, pulls off his Rusev submission move, whatever it's called. Whatever. Who cares? I didn't. I even wrote it down. Who cares? Again, I guess it's good for Alpha Academy to get something, to get some type of exposure, to still be on the minds of the audience, I guess. But it was a nothing match. And we'll see what happens next time because I don't know. Rusev did the promo last week that he's gonna, come back and reshape the industry, and he's going to, make people better. And then he was against fucking Otis. Okay, it's ridiculous. Okay, and then after that, we have this McAfee segment. I'm gonna tell you right now, I do not care. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I do not care about Pat McAfee. Gunther was the world champion for however long he was. He loses it at WrestleMania by his own move, and then goes and starts a feud with the commentators. They don't give a shit about Gunther. Gunther has lost every and all credibility. What do you mean you're starting fights with the commentators? And all it started, and please remember, all of this started because Gunther didn't like what Michael Cole had to say. Get the fuck out of here. This is your champion? This is your champion. You were the champion for however long. You were the ring general. That is your moniker. Now you're picking fights with the fucking commentary team? Now you're coming out here to Pat McAfee talking about how great he is and how poor he was growing up and how much he was a fan and he put everything down there and he's not gonna take shit because you hurt his friend? This is fucking ridiculous. I'm supposed to be excited about Gunther, the ring general, picking fights with commentators. If Gunther loses this match at Backlash, holy shit. Holy shit. I hope Gunther realizes that this company does not give a shit for him and he should walk. Why would you do that to yourself? That is, you were literally champion for however long you were champion. You lost it by your own move at WrestleMania, the biggest event of the year, okay? And then you start picking fights with a commentator because they said something you didn't like? And now you're in a fight with another commentator? Just walk. Just walk away from the company. They don't give a shit about you. Get out of here, the ring general. No. Get out of here. Stupid ass shit. And who the fuck is Pat McAfee? I swear to God, if Gunther loses this fucking match, if he loses this fucking match to Pat McAfee, he should walk out. He should just walk off the company. Fuck his contract. Fuck everything. Just walk out. He cannot seriously see how his career went from being the champion for however long, being the ring general, winning all this time. Then he loses his belt at WrestleMania to his own move, and now he's picking fights with the commentator and loses to the commentator. Fuck that. Just quit. Just quit. No way is Gunther gonna be able to lose this. He has lost everything he has ever built up in a matter of weeks. John Cena didn't do that. Randy Orton didn't do that. The Rock didn't do that. Stone Cold Steve Austin didn't do that. They didn't win the belt or lose the belt and then go and start having fights with the fucking commentators. They didn't do that. They went and started, and they went and they caused hell for the champion that took the belt from them. Austin lost his belt. He was on Rock's ass until he got his belt back. He was on Brett's ass. Come on. They didn't fucking go start fighting somebody else. No, they wanted their belt. They went back to go get their belt. The fuck you talking about? This is stupid as shit. I swear to God, Gunther better not lose this fucking match. He better not. As much as I don't give a shit about this match, if Gunther loses, that's it. It's over. Quit. What are you going to get back? What are you going to get back? A wrestler loses to a commentator. That is the biggest insult you could probably fucking do to somebody. That's going to bury you, dude. Fuck out of here. After that, we have another John Cena and Randy Orton recap. They're bringing up, their whole fight, prepping up for Backlash. Okay, great. We're having another recap. Let's watch it. Hopefully, it'll be a good match because who knows? The way this has been, who the fuck knows what kind of match we're going to have. And then afterwards, we have a bit of a surprise. Number one, the main event was actually the best thing about this entire fucking show. But I don't know how much that's good enough if the rest of if everything that preceded of it was trash. And secondly, it was like half an hour earlier. I was so fucking surprised when this match ended with half an hour. I had to look at my clock. I was like, is this real? Like, don't we have another 30 minutes to go? Nope. Nope, 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 nope. Fuck it. Let's go. Netflix cut off and now it was in. I still had 30 minutes. I said, get the fuck out of here. Are they listening to people? Are they realizing that they shouldn't have need to go 3 fucking hours for this on a weekly basis? Seth Rollins versus Uso was the best match. I did like this match a lot. You had a lot of good moves, a lot of good spots. It was good. It built up their fight. There was a story going on. Okay, it worked. They both came out. They both wrestled well. You had Braun Breaker, being there as the henchman, helping Seth when he could. Then you have fucking Sami Zayn coming out. Okay, great. He can help Jay. Great, awesome. It's actually pretty good. He takes another fucking spear to his ribs. It was actually pretty fucking good. I actually liked this match. The moves, the curb stomp, the spears. It was actually good. The avalanche suplex from the turnbuckle. This was actually pretty fucking good. And then a big surprise, CM Punk comes out. Because now Sami Zayn got hit, and CM Punk comes out. Here's my only issue. The bell should have rung. When CM Punk came out with the chair and he hit Seth Rollins with it, not Braun Breaker, whatever. They're not the legal men. But when he fought and he hit Seth Rollins, the match should have ended. I mean, ring the bell. There are rules for a reason. Ring the bell. This match ended in a DQ for Jey Uso. No, for Seth Rollins. Excuse me, because Seth Rollins was the one hit. If you get hit by an outside interference, the person who gets hit wins the match because it's helping the other person. Okay, so that's why Jey Uso won by DQ. That's why Seth Rollins won by DQ because he got hit, giving Jey Uso the advantage. So Jey Uso lost. But because it was DQ, he didn't lose the belt. And because it was DQ, none of them, Seth nor Jay, had to lose clean, meaning they're both still strong because the only way, they stopped the match was because of interference. So it's not like they technically, neither of them lost. Neither of them won, obviously. I mean, Seth won, but neither of them lost or won. So it just keeps the feud going. Which now seems to be the way they pose at the end. It's going to be CM Punk, Sami Zayn, and Jey Uso versus Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, and whoever they get. Which now makes me think they're going to bring back Brock Lesnar. Who else would Paul Heyman be able to get? Brock Lesnar. They showed us in the ring. If you watch the final minutes of the show, CM Punk in the ring, Sami Zayn in the ring, Jey Uso. And they all had shit with Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, and Paul Heyman. Sami Zayn for what happened last week with Seth and his friendship. CM Punk, of course, from what happened with WrestleMania. And now Jey Uso, who lost by TQ but kept his belt, but knows now that Seth is after him. It's going to be Braun Breaker, Seth Rollins, and the third person that Paul Heyman's going to bring against Sami Zayn, CM Punk, and Jey Uso. And now, of course, I'm thinking Brock Lesnar, but that's because whenever I think of Paul Heyman, I think of Brock Lesnar. But who knows who will be. But it's going to be a 3-on-3. It's going to be a 6-man tag team, 3-on-3. And CM Punk finally makes an appearance, but only to help Seth win by DQ. And he just hits him with a chair. He didn't do much. Just hit him with a chair a few times, hit Braun Breaker, and that was it. But the match itself was good. I like the curb stomps. I like the reversals. Seth was bumping. Jay was bumping. They did well. The interference was minimal. It served its purpose, and of course, this whole thing was a schmoz to get the feud going, because now we have CM Punk, Sami Zayn, Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker, Seth Rollins, and whoever Paul brings. So it's going to be a surprise. And of course, the greatest present of all, it ended 30 minutes earlier. That shit surprised the fuck out of me, but it also shows that they are running out of what to do. They are running out of ideas of what to fucking do. Because 30 minutes is a long time. You can have maybe 2 matches or some backstage segments. You could have developed something else. You could have some of your previous matches go longer. But something's going on. They're like, no, you know what? The Raw before a pay-per-view, let's just end it 30 minutes early. Okay. So what the fuck's gonna happen? Because we won't go till next week, and that's after Backlash this weekend. So what the fuck? So what are we? So those 30 minutes could have been used to literally continue the feuds or start new feuds or show us something more But no, you're just like, fuck it, we'll just end it now. 30 minutes. 30 minutes is a long fucking time. So that was a Raw. Again, if they're going to recap everything, there's no point in watching it just because they're going to recap it to you at the beginning. And you don't even have to watch the actual show because you could just watch the main event because they're just going to give you the summary at the bottom. They're going to tell you who fought who won each match. And also they're going to recap everything for you. So it becomes a point of like, what's the point of watching it early? What's the point of watching it live? Oh, well, I watch it live because after it goes live, they edit stuff around. You know, sound, crowd chants. They have their cuts during the matches. So it's like, I'd rather watch it live and take the commercial breaks. It's a cursed thing. But that is the Raw review. It ended 30 minutes early. So now we don't have anything else other than what we've already had for the last week, which isn't much because it's just the same thing. Nothing got elevated other than at least the main event. But aside from that, nothing else got elevated. We still have Io versus Roxanne, whoever the other girl is, okay. You know, we have Rusev, I guess, starting his arc of like being this guy who just beats up people, okay. Alpha Academy is just losing, okay. The Judgment Day and Finn Balor really needs to fucking pick it up because I am tired of seeing week in, week out, Finn Balor getting disrespected. Finn, get out. Pivot to your demon shtick and just break away from the Judgment Day. That's it, because you keep losing. Not only have you keep losing your fucking matches, nobody in your group likes you, and you're being phased out. And another thing, what the fuck is Raquel doing? What the fuck is Raquel doing? Without Liv Morgan, Raquel is nothing. Like, at least give her a fucking singles match. Give her something. Show us why she is one half of the tag team champions. Show us. Because the only time I see Raquel is when it's Judgment Day and with Liv Morgan. Outside of that, she's nothing. Show me what she could do. Put her in a singles match. And apparently there was talk that Liv is going to be out for like a month or something. So are we talking about like how many more weeks are we going to have? Is next week Liv going to be there? So Raquel's just going to be able to hold on as a title champion because she just doesn't wrestle? At least put in a singles match. Show us why she's one half of the tag team champions. It's fucking ridiculous. But at least the main event was good. At least the main event was good, and at least we had 30 minutes. It surprised me. But then again, it's the Monday before pay-per-view, and you just waste 30 minutes. You just let it go. 30 minutes you never have back to develop anybody and anybody else. And you just give us the same stuff without elevation. Becky and Val, they brawl again, talking about how great you are, blah, blah, blah. Jey Uso got a title match against Seth Rollins because it's all a plan that failed because CM Punk, as Sami Zayn, came out to help out Jey Uso. That sets up, a 6-man tag. Okay, great. But what the fuck else? And now we have Backlash where I'm supposed to be excited for fucking Gunther versus Pat McAfee. Man, get the fuck out of here. That's the end of this Raw review. I hope you guys had a good Monday. I'll see you guys the rest at this weekend for the SmackDown review. Until then, guys, take care and be safe. Bye.